As you just saw, today I've got my hands on my most anticipated prop for 2025, with that being the Ultra Skelly. Ultra Skelly is a new for 2025 Home Depot Halloween animatronic being manufactured by SVI, and this guy is a completely innovative animatronic when it does come to the retail market, as you can literally customize pretty much anything you want within an app called Decor Pro. And I knew I had to get my hands on this guy when we first saw him back in March at the Home Depot manager meeting, and this guy doesn't officially release until Monday, August 4th. But I was lucky enough to get my hands on him at a local Home Depot, and now I'm here to unbox him. As I mentioned in the beginning, this guy has to be my most anticipated animatronic for 2025. It is being retailed for the shocking price of $279, which is crazy to think about because you can pretty much make him into anything you can desire. But without any further ado, let's unbox him. Right at the top, we have his instructions. We can then take out his base, and this thing is really heavy duty metal. I'll give you a good look at this. Look, you can see right there, they're the square poles. Overall, really heavy duty. We then have these, and I honestly have no clue what they're for, but I guess we'll find out. We then have his app instructions. We then have his two leg pulls, and they did have some cardboard on the front just to make sure they're packaged nicely. We can now take out the first part of his actual body, with this being his first hand/arm, and this thing looks awesome. The detailing, this thing looks so cool. And it does actually have some posable joints that you can actually move, as you see right there. But overall, the hands also look really nice. Posable fingers, awesome. We then have his other arm, which is the same exact thing, posable fingers, and then that posable joint. We can now take out part of his leg, and once again, this looks really nice. I love how they actually have that almost gradient gray, and then they have the almost tannish gray. I think overall, the detailing is awesome. We then have his adapter, and this thing is giant. I have no clue why it's this big, but I guess we'll find out. We then have his other part to his leg, and I have no clue why these are packaged so tightly. It's really hard to get these pieces out, but here's his leg. We then have another part to his leg, which means in total he will have 4 to cover up all the pulls. And then we have another leg part. We then have his 2 feet, and these are really nice, a hard plastic, as you can hear, and they overall look really awesome. We then have his torso piece, and this thing is really heavy, as he does have that side-to-side movement, but here's his torso. We then have one of the main parts, with this being the rib cage, and he does actually have the LED right in here, which you can't see on camera, and then this IR sensor right there blends in really well, and you can't even see the LED, so I think overall his rib cage looks great. And then this box right here, we have his head, which is going to be the final part, and I'm going to give all of you the first look at this. So excited to see how this thing does look. It is a hard plastic, but there you go. Now let me take a look. Oh my, this thing looks absolutely awesome. I love all the detailing on it. You can see his LCD eyes obviously aren't up right now, but they really look great even without the LCD eyes. But this guy has a tremendous head sculpt. Ultra Skelly includes his torso, his rib cage, his head, the 2 arms, the giant base, and then 2 instructions, one for the actual build and then one for the Decor Pro app, his 2 leg pulls, his giant adapter, those pieces which I'm still not quite sure what they're used for, his feet, and then those 4 legs. The first step is going to be taking his 2 feet and then placing them over top of where the leg pulls will go. You then want to take leg pull E and then the part of his leg G and then slide it over top of each other, but make sure the part with the snap lock right there is going down and not up. Once his leg looks like this, you can then slide it over and snap lock it in. And I will mention he does have a screw, so you want to make sure that you do tighten that. You can then repeat the same step with leg pull D and then the part of his leg F. Once your leg looks just like this, you can then repeat that same exact step, slide it over, and snap lock it in. And then once again, you want to screw it and make sure it's tight. You then have to take I and attach it onto his right leg, slide it down, and then just make sure it's in a good position. You can then do the same exact thing for his left leg. Once again, just slide it over, and then make sure it's in a good position. He's now going to start gaining some height because we can now take his torso piece, and just like everything else, you just want to slide it down and snap lock it in. You can then take his rib cage and then attach it on top of his torso piece, and then it also, once again, has a screw, and then you can connect some wires right here. The torso itself was pretty easy to attach, as you just had to screw it and slide it on, but however, the wires that actually came from this part right here were really difficult to attach, and it took me a while to figure it out. So basically, there's a slit down here where the sort of mechanism is for the side to side, and you do actually want to put the wires down in there to make sure they're hidden, and that took me a while to figure out. So if you are having problems on that, just make sure you do that. But now we're going to attach his right arm, and once again, posable fingers look really awesome on this guy. And this is part N, and then square connection right there, square connection right here, and then you just want to line it up. You can then take part M, which is going to be his left arm, and then once again just attach it on with that square connection. Just like that. And then your final step for the Home Depot Halloween 2025 Ultra Skelly Animatronic is going to be to attach his servo head with those digital LCD eyes. It does have that servo connection just like all the other Home Depot animatronics. And then there's just going to be a circular connection at the top and slide it down. And after that, all of your main steps for Ultra Skelly are pretty much completed, besides obviously connecting the wires, connecting the power adapter, and then I did figure out what these are. These are ground stakes, so you can actually have this guy stay in the ground and he won't fall over or anything like that. So he does come with ground stakes. But without any further ado, let's see his demos.
Celebration of ghouls and creepy creatures alike as we raise a toast to the spookiest season of them all. The living have arrived. Within this domain, the sounds of rattling bones and horrifying screams fill the haunting air. Enjoy your unfortunately short stay. For I guarantee you will not be here for long. Wanderers of the night, heed my warnings. What you may experience here will be burned into your memory for eternity. Pass these graves with caution, as the horrors beyond this point are born of mischief, and you do not want to be their friend. Come one, come all, bones come alive with laughter, and shadows come out to play. Embrace the mysterious ambiance, and let the spirit guide your way.
Overall, I'm very impressed with the Ultra Skelly Animatronic. However, I have two main complaints, with the first one being his arm motor, because this thing is so incredibly loud. And this mic is noise cancellation, and you can still hear it. And overall, it's just really frustrating to hear while he is activating. And I mean, right now, I can't even think because of how loud it is. That's how annoying it is. My second main complaint with Ultra Skelly is within the Decor Pro app that you can customize all of his features in. Because at first it asked me if I wanted to update it 15 times, which is super frustrating, but after you do get into it and get used to it, it's definitely worth it. Moving on to some pros, I love all the customizations you can choose on Skelly, as when you do get the app actually working, you can choose 18 different LCD eye options. You can also choose the colors in his ribcage area and then his jaw, and you can also choose if you like it to be static, strobe, pulsing, and then you can also choose the brightness and the speed of that, which is absolutely awesome. And then finally, you can choose his movements, with that being his servo head, his arm, and then his torso movement. And then you can also choose to have them all on at once, which make for a phenomenal animatronic. I also love that you can talk live with this guy via the app, and you can also record up to 30 phrases that are 30 seconds long, which I think is a really nice added touch. And this guy will definitely be able to withstand the outside. I'm not too sure about the rain, but definitely the wind, as he does come with those ground stakes. So overall, I think that Ultra Skelly is definitely going to be my favorite animatronic for 2025. But let me know down in the comments below if you like Ultra Skelly.
Anyway, did you remember?
Wait, no, that wasn't in the script. Cut!